Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool Western Electric 302. This is the plastic body, and this is Val's telephone from Maine. And it's a really cool telephone. He picked this up at a flea market, I believe, and it's in really good condition. And from what I've seen of the telephone, I'm going to look it over a little better, but this is just the initial checkout. So I really haven't checked the corners that well. But a lot of times what happens on these 302s is they're real famous on these plastic bodies for cracking on the corners. And I noticed when I took the screws out for the body, because I've already took a look at it a little bit and kind of went through it some, that the body was really tight on the base. And that's what happens to these 302s. The body starts to shrink up a little bit and they start getting real tight, and that's when you get your cracking on your corners. And so this one looks like it's in pretty good shape though. And just give you a little look at this telephone. It's really a beautiful telephone, and it's got some issues with it. It was picked up at a flea market, and I'm sure it looks really nice and it's in great shape, but there's some issues with this telephone. And one of the issues was that Val said that this telephone seemed to work pretty good at first, but now he's having a problem with the one. We already checked it out a little bit, and I cannot get it to not work right. It's working properly. When you dial a 1, the analyzer picks up the 1 every time, and I've called some telephone numbers and tried the phone out, and the 1 always seems to register. But we're going to go through the dial and clean it and oil it and adjust it and make sure that the numbers are racking off properly and get that all straightened out for him. A couple of things that I want to show you with the telephone is, and it's in really good shape. I mean, this handset just looks like it's just in really good shape, the body and the handset. A couple of issues, though, with this telephone is it looks like they might have rushed with this telephone to try to get rid of it real quick, and kind of their loss, because it's really a beautiful telephone. I noticed right off the bat, there's a screw in here, and this is kind of magnetized here on the bell, and what happens is there was a screw in there. So we're going to look around. It doesn't look like anything that belongs in the telephone, but it is a screw that they would normally use, so it might be off the hook switch, or it's just hard to say. I'm going to have to go through the telephone and check everything out. This gives you a little look at the inside of the telephone, and everything is basically here, and it's in good shape. It might be missing the cover for the rotary there. Somebody might have been trying to look for a problem and had taken that off in the past or something, but basically everything seems to be here, and the bells look like they're in a good shape, and the network, and so it's a very clean phone. From the date code here, it's 1946, so it's been around a while, and it's in good shape for that. The feet on the bottom are the leather feet, and they're in good shape, so we're just going to kind of go through it. Some of the issues I want to show you is the handset cord is loose. It just seems like they probably, since they were in this telephone when they put a line cord on it, you would think that they would kind of just hook this back up the way it was supposed to be and mount it. It has its original hook there, and I think that would have been a simple fix. The other issue that I have with this telephone is when they put the more modern line cord on it, they just left it hanging. It's just hanging. And the wiring here has just been bared and twisted together, and as you can see, it's almost basically shorting out. Because on the green line here, it's got no coating on it, and it's already over where the red belongs. So, it seems like they would have installed that a little better. What we're going to do is clean this up. We're going to get some spade connectors on there, and we're going to get this this line cord secured up so that it doesn't fall out. So there's all kinds of little kind of issues that we're going to go through and be looking at and go through the hook switch and kind of go through that. I just want to tip this phone up for a second and give you a look at the base of the telephone. It's in really good shape for its age, and it's one of the better looking ones that I see. So it's in pretty decent shape, and Val's pretty lucky to get this. The other issue that I have with this telephone, and it's easy to pass this up sometimes, if you're looking at other problems on the telephone and you're going through other issues that you're more worried about, sometimes it's easy to pass up these cords that kind of are loose inside the transmitter here on the handset. But this one is so loose that I noticed when I was using the phone that if you push it back and forth a little bit, you get some static and some bad connections going on. So what I want to do real quick is open this up. And like I said, if you're working on a telephone and you're looking at other issues, has its original transmitter, and that's in very clean, good condition. Usually they're really dirty, but this one's in good shape. So that's nice to see. And, it's easy to overlook these kind of things. But it's got some, an extra wire here that they didn't end up using, or it needs to be connected or whatever. But on these, they should only use 3 wires anyway. They used kind of a ground, and then you got your 2 hots for your receiver cap and your transmitter. And basically the screw is here. It's just trapped up underneath a wire, so that can be remounted. And you can overlook that, but this just has so much play in it, and it crackled when you'd move it, that it seems like they would have looked in here and kind of tightened that down if they were going to get rid of the telephone and sell it. So it kind of Val's, he got the best of the deal, because he got this 302. And we get calls about these all the time. They're very sought after. So whoever sold this phone pretty much shot themselves in the foot, because these are very sought after, and they're really cool telephones. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the cap on this for the transmitter. So it's a very nice telephone, and we're going to get this straightened out for Val and get him all taken care of, and get some of these little issues and squared away. And so let's do this now. Let's go ahead and ring the telephone. I'm going to let that go one more time. And I'm going to go ahead and let's do this. I want to show you this bell. This bell seems to be very aggressive, so the bell's in very good shape. It's kind of working like a brand new bell. And it works really well. They just don't make things like this any longer. They could never make a bell nowadays that lasts this many years. And so some of these older style bells that you'll see in these 302s were some of the best bells ever made. And the ones on the old wooden wall telephones were a really good bell. And through the years, all their bells were pretty decent, except for I don't care for some of the mini bells that were in like the mini wall telephone and some of the Princess phones. I didn't care much for them, the way they were designed, but they had to make a different design so they were smaller to fit in those telephones. But these older style bells, the way they first started making them, you just can't beat it. And this bell works like it's brand new, and it's this many years old. So it's just really cool to see that and hear that bell ring like that after this many years. Anyway, we're going to dial some numbers here, and as you can see, the 1 hits right off. So you could also probably do that. I'll dial 2 and just, there's your 1. I'll dial a 3, there's your 1. I'm going to try to dial a 2, a 3, got a 4, maybe a 5 or a 4 again. If you sit there and practice, you can basically dial the phone this way. I'll do a 2, a 3, 2, 3, 4, oh, got a 5, 5. So, you can practice that and basically dial out that way, because it's the same thing as the rotary pulse hitting. But the telephone definitely dials, and I know the ones are hitting. I'm just kind of randomly dialing. We know we got dial tone. And I'm going to dial a 1. And I'm going to talk into the handset. Every time you see that red indicator light, that's an indication of 100% modulation on the analyzer. But we do know that if you move this handset cord back and forth into the handset, what's going to happen is it's going to cause some static in the telephone. So we know that's an issue. And but we'll go through these numbers one more time. Even though they're all hitting, it's going to be a good thing to go through this dial and clean it, oil it. I'll go for a 1 again. Go 2, do the 1, go over to the 6, do a 1, 2, 1, 6, 1, 2, 1, and then back to 2. So we know that the telephone is hitting. It may be that his telephone company is not seeing that 1 like most of the telephone companies. They try to keep all their equipment within a normal range, but I think he has another telephone that we did for him that's a 302, I believe, and it dials out, I think he said so, and he doesn't have any problem with it. But we'll go through this one and try to get it squared away, and we'll go from there and get all these other little issues taken care of. But this is a really cool telephone. It's in very good condition, and a lot of times you'll see these, and there's nothing wrong with it, but these get real pitted, and the plastic gets real, kind of just from age, it just gets wore out. And this telephone's in really good condition. Wherever this telephone was at, it was probably in a pretty safe area, just for the simple fact that the body and the handset still has a really nice glossy shine to it. And so it's in very good condition. It just needs a little bit of taken care of, and we'll get those issues straightened out and get this telephone back to normal and get it back to Val here pretty soon. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. This is Val's telephone from Maine. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.